Hey PlayStation fans, today I'm going to talk to you about if you should purchase the PlayStation 5, obviously when it comes out. This is an exciting time. It's always really exciting when we get a new console, and this is no different. Basically, this new console is going to be super fast. It's going to be faster because of the way the storage works than most gaming computers, which is crazy. Maybe not in the future, but at least right now it seems to be the fastest thing on the market to game with, but things could always change. Let's keep that in mind. However, what are some of the features that PlayStation 5 has over the rest of the competition? Number one is ray tracing. Ray tracing is going to make basically every game look better. What ray tracing does is it basically does the rays of light. I'm trying to dim this down so that everyone can understand. Let's picture light. Light travels in a straight line. It doesn't deviate. The only way it deviates is if it reflects off of something. Now, that's what we're going to be talking about, how the light reflects. And Gran Turismo 7 is an actual good example of this. Where in Gran Turismo 7, we're able to see the light bounce off the pavement, off the trees, off of everything, and just give cool shadows. Bounces off the cars. You can see reflections of the trees and other cars inside of your car or on another car. That's how ray tracing is going to work. Now, what makes this set apart from pretty much everything else? The PlayStation 5 is able to draw information quicker. And this is really cool. So you're going to be starting with over 800 gigs of storage, and then it's going to be in an SSD. Now, SSDs are quick. We all know that, but it's not necessarily the actual hardware itself that's quicker in this case. They're almost doing the same idea as what Apple does with their SSDs, which is use software to enhance the speed of that SSD. An SSD, if you don't already know, is solid state drives. Basically, a regular hard drive is a hard disk drive. There's a platinum disk sitting inside of the hard drive. With an SSD, there's no platinum disk, so you don't have to wait for it to recover information and try and figure out where it is on that disk, which then leads to quicker load times. However, when you've got a set of codes or coding that allows you to already automatically know what's coming up next because it knows, and from there it's able to withdraw that packet of information to display it on your screen faster, those load times are going to be much, much faster, and you can add in more things. So basically how they make a game, the graphics in a game is a bunch of triangles, and basically, the faster that system is able to retrieve that packet of information, the more triangles they can stick into the actual game itself, so that you can basically get more realistic scenes. Again, leading back to Gran Turismo 7, you're going to be able to see individual leaves on trees, leading back to NBA 2K21, which is going to be the first basketball game that's released on PlayStation 5. What you're getting there is the ability for you to see individual sweat drips coming from the players. I also would not be surprised if they were able to fix the issue that I always have with NBA 2K and pretty much any NBA video game, which is you start dribbling the ball down the court and you've got a player in front of you and you just keep on running forward through that player for like 2 or 3 seconds before they draw a charge. And your feet just keep on moving, but the floor isn't. Hopefully they can get that issue fixed, because that bugs me to no end. However, I also would not be surprised if we were able to see in-game while the game is running, like while you're playing the game, like if it was real life. And what I mean by that is if you've got a 4K TV, you should be able to see, if you've got a 4K TV and a 4K feed coming in, you should be able to see the actual floor in an actual real NBA game on ESPN. The floor actually giving a little bit every time a player steps down on the court. And the reason why this is in real life, there's a ton of different foam and wood and stuff underneath the main wood floor. I know this because I used to play basketball. If you don't already know, you can go check out my basketball channel, Basketball Coach Allen. I played down in the D-League for a very minute, short period of time. And you'll actually see the floor give a little bit, and that's there to really protect the player's knees. If they come down hard on their heels, kind of like how Zion used to really land a lot, it's going to protect his knees. I wouldn't be surprised if, maybe not in 2K21, but maybe 2K23 or 24, you might actually start seeing the floor give a bit in the game. I also wouldn't be surprised if they started adding in code where if the game hasn't been stopped for a bit, and what I mean by that is if there hasn't been timeouts being called, if there hasn't been like an out of bounds turnover, whatever else, I wouldn't be surprised if they started adding in lines of code where that basketball itself gets slippery from other players' sweat, so that maybe if you've got a player who's got a lower degree of catching or throwing or passing or shooting a ball, they might lose that ball at a higher percentage because the sweat is on the ball. So I wouldn't be surprised if they eventually added stuff like that in. Or if you got a player like Derrick Rose who just crosses really fast and you see the sweat like explode off his forehead, I wouldn't be surprised if they started adding that kind of stuff in as well, because this system should be fast enough to run that. Anyways, I hope that, of course, you've enjoyed this video. If you have, hit that like button and subscribe, and I will see you guys again next time.